Welcome once again to our lectures on the renal system. Today we'll be dealing with the functions of the kidney. The functions of the kidney. So usually I love to group things, so they are grouped into the following: excretory function, regulatory function, endocrine function, and metabolic functions. Metabolic functions. So let's look at each and every one. What the excretory functions are, what the regulatory functions are, what the endocrine functions are, and what the metabolic functions are. So with excretory, the name implies, it deals with removal of waste product or byproduct of catabolism and anabolism. So what are these substances that are excreted? We have urea and creatinine. So urea is just an ammonia that is being converted in the liver and then excreted by the kidneys. Then creatinine is simply a byproduct of creatine metabolism in muscles. Now these two are usually measured in clinical settings to determine the kidney function. But the golden standard among the two is creatinine. I repeat, the golden standard among the two is creatinine. Why? Simply because it is filtered 100% and there is little or no secretion. However, there is no reabsorption of creatinine. So if 50 ml of creatinine is filtered, 50 ml you will see in urine. That is why it is the golden standard for determining the kidney function. Then we have hormones and drugs. Now, as we know, many drugs are lipid induced or they're made up of lipids. But lipids are not soluble or cannot be filtered in the glomerular filtration. They can't be filtered. So what it means is that the drugs need to be biotransformed or conjugated before they can then be excreted from the body. And that's why we have biotransformation reactions 1 and 2. When we do drugs metabolism, I shall tell you more about it on what the biotransformation is really about. But it's simply converting insoluble drugs to soluble drugs for them to be excreted from the body. Then we have toxins. Okay, so what do the kidney regulate? It regulates water balance. It regulates electrolyte balance. But there's some important electrolytes you should know as a medical student or as a doctor. What are these? Sodium ions. Its value is approximately 120 to 155 millimole per liters. Potassium ions 2.5 to 6.5 millimole per liters. Chloride ions 95 to 105 millimole per liters. Bicarbonate 22 to 28 millimole per liters. Calcium ions 2 to 3.5 millimole per liters. Okay. It also regulates acid-base balance. In subsequent lectures, I shall tell you how all these things are regulated, how water is regulated, how these sodium, potassium, whatever, and then acid-base balance, how they are all regulated by the kidney. Okay, so let's move to the endocrine functions. The endocrine function of the kidney usually deals with the secretion of erythropoietin. That is what? Red blood cells. So it secretes erythropoietin by what? By the endothelial cells of the peritubular capillary network. It also secretes renin. By the juxtaglomerular apparatus. So usually when there is vasoconstriction or when there is inadequate blood supply to the kidney, what the kidney does is that it releases renin to cause activation of angiotensin 1 and angiotensin 2, and then leading to vasoconstriction. So we shall talk more about it. It also secretes prostaglandins by the endothelial cells of the glomerulus. The glomerulus, as I said in previous lecture, is simply a capillary network in the Bowman's capsule. So these prostaglandins are produced usually when there is vasoconstriction, because severe vasoconstriction can lead to damage of the kidney. So what the kidney does to protect itself is by secreting prostaglandin, usually I2 and G2, if I'm correct. No, E2 and I2. E2 and I2. E2 and I2. So these are basically the endocrine functions. Now look at the metabolic functions. It converts inactive vitamin D, which is 25-hydroxyclassiferol, to active vitamin D, 1,25-dihydrocalciferol, by the cells of proximal convoluted tubules. As we know, this inactive form is produced by the liver at the carbon 25 end, but until it is being activated, it cannot perform its functions. And it is the proximal convoluted tubule that activates this inactive form to 1,25-dihydroxycalciferol, and that is how the metabolic functions of the kidney really is all about. So basically, that is the end of the kidney functions, and in next lecture we'll be dealing with the nephron, which is the functional unit of the kidney. The nephron, the functional unit of the kidney. So if you really enjoyed this video, kindly follow us on our social media platforms: on Facebook at Row1, Instagram at Row1_Row1, on Twitter at RulinOurWorld1, and on YouTube at Row1 TV. If you're not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so, and also click on the notification bell as well. So when any video is posted, you'll be first to know. And once again, keep your suggestions coming, and I'll be more than glad to answer them for you. Thank you, and do have a great time.